All right, we're going to start in about 2 minutes. All right, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tim Aslan here for Counter Trend Capital. Today we're just doing an impromptu live stream. We do these in the Discord every few days, just a general market update, so everybody's always informed. So we thought we'd do it for the public, so you guys can see what's going on inside the Discord. So today I'm joined with our veteran trader Oyabun. He's been trading for over 7 years, and he specializes in Elliott wave theory. He's probably the best trader I know, best trader I've ever met. He can trade in a couple hours and just absolutely crush the market. He has an exceptional win rate, and so I'm going to live stream his screen. He's going to share that, and at the end we'll answer some questions, so you guys can ask questions throughout. To be able to ask a question, you have to be subscribed to the channel. So make sure you guys subscribe. And let's get right into it. Let me put Oyabun's screen on here. All right, Oyabun, go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Oyabun. Anyways, we're gonna go through some things here, and what I think is possible and what's the problem. So at the moment we're kind of in this range, not really much action. BTC is quite boring. So I'm just gonna go through a few counts here I have and what I'm kind of expecting to see, and what's the reasons why. Like I'm thinking like maybe this won't play out and etc. on smaller time frames and higher time frames. So obviously you guys see probably everyone say that this is probably like the most common I think is this one. Is the 1, 2 here, wave 3 here, 4 with the 5th here to the downside, and then maybe an ABC flat here or a WXY. Okay. Yeah. So obviously there's this is like a big consolidation here. Really big consolidation. Ideally, on the 1 hour, usually we don't want to see a wave 2 get broken on starting point of wave 2. So wave 2 here, you see wave 2 here. Wave 2 is down here, and we don't want to see it get broken for it to let us know that probably wave 4 is probably in the start. But obviously we have to upgrade and downgrade our side to depending on the selection, how long it took to get down, right? So obviously the 1 hour is maybe not as good as a 4 hour on this case, and this one's still valid, and we have no divergence here because usually a 5th wave you want to have some sort of divergence. So the main thing I'm looking for is a move up or a move down. Okay, so if it's a move up, obviously I'm looking, because this is 5 ways down, where we would expect these lows to get broken one more time. We would expect it to go somewhere over here and then possible short. To be honest, I'm looking for something in this area, more likely maybe this area here, maybe the 1.618, maybe even the 1.23, just to take that out before I go up here and then come back down and then throw in one more low at least, right? So that's the main one. The other one that I'm having real suspicious, because we have some bearish indications here. Obviously everything's quite low, like the cluster is quite low. Is the triangle here we have here. We have like a really nice things, and usually I don't really like triangles just because triangles are quite rare. A lot of people use triangles on Elliott waves and just label it because it's like a bunch of chop, but ideally you have to have like RSI confluence with it, and obviously we want to see it build a triangle on the RSI, which is doing here. So my main thing is this is quite a fast move, and I said this before on this move up, and how I caught this is looking like some sort of WXY triangle here, and it's going to push up. So this is the same thing, except for me it's more likely to the downside, right? Just because this is coming down here, so this came up and building a triangle, so it should go up, right? So now this coming down is build a triangle, so usually it should come down. And usually triangles are more often in wave 4s, and they're like one of the main things, and wave 4 is really drawn out and boring. So the main thing I'm looking for right now is really like to see if we're going to break this. If it breaks this high, I'm going to take a short up over here, not a problem. If it goes down, obviously we have a whole bunch of targets. If it's a triangle, we could just say this is a swing from here, from this high, from this low, and then let's say from here, and then we get these targets, and then I think we got to make sure 618 is available here, because this is like a sneaky one. So the 618 is really interesting because obviously, 618 is quite interesting because obviously we have these lows down here. You see these lows here. So this is like obviously built up liquidity here, right? So this is where everyone stop loss. This is where everyone long. So the main thing is I don't like to see these lows often, because usually when these lows, we usually break them, right? So we don't really have much of them to the upside, but a lot of them to the downside. So I actually don't like these targets to the upside for a wave 2. The reason being is because we have to hit the 0.5 fib, right? So the main thing is this. So the 0.5 fib to the upside from the swing high, swing low. So a B and a C wave should hit a 0.5 fib bare minimum. So in this case, we actually don't have that. Like our target to the 1.618 is actually below the 0.5 fib, which has me real suspicious that this is probably still a wave 4 maybe, or maybe it's a triangle and it's a wave 4, and this is not, we're not really going to go to these targets, okay? Because that's like super like B waves are usually minimum 382, yes, but like ideally usually 0.5 fibs, and you could see that all on the charts on the bigger time frames, etc., right? So yeah, the main things I want to see is maybe we sweep these lows, and then we use a swing failure pattern on these lows, and then go back up, and then do our B wave, and then we're going to come down for a C wave or a wave 3 for a bigger massive dump. So that's the main thing, and that's also makes a lot of sense with the cluster, because the cluster is quite low on all time frames, 1 hour, 4 hour, 8 hour. Right, so that makes sense because that push down is not really that big, to be honest with you guys. Like, the swing failure is not really that big. It's something that's like maybe like a 2% move to the downside, which is very big, right? Yeah, so not too big. So that's really the main thing I like to see, like what I want to see. If it goes up, obviously I'm going to consider it more like a B wave, C wave, and then coming back down, and then you guys could just do a swing from the high to the low. If you guys ever want to get like targets, since we know you guys kind of know what the count is, you guys could already know that this is probably a 5-way structure here, and you guys could get targets to the downside of wherever it goes. So from that high, from this high, and then wherever it goes, if it does go up, and if it goes down, you guys could obviously know that's probably going to retrace at least minimum 0.5 fib, and you guys could find targets like that if you guys are new to Elliott waves or whatever. So that's the main thing I'm looking for. There's really nothing special. A lot of alts also, like, I don't know, hold on a second here, I'll just show you guys here. So like this morning when I was looking at XO charts here, also it's quite bearish here. Obviously, like we have this, and then this is just going up, right? So this is not something we want to see. Generally we want to see something a lot less than this. This is quite bearish to me, really bearish. And like, to be honest, like today when I woke up, I was like, okay, the market's probably gonna come down a little more before it goes up or something. So short term wise, but yeah, this is quite bearish to me, and I don't really like seeing this on Bitcoin. Usually we don't, we usually don't see this if we're bullish. But yeah, anyways, do you guys have any questions? That's pretty much it, Tim. I'll pass it to you now.
Can you explain the delta on the CVD and what that means?
Yeah, so like this just means like, okay, so like when it goes, if you have like a regular bull dip, it's like an absorption, right? If it's a bearish dip, it's like absorption. So this is like, in a way, just tells us that we're like, actually people are really long heavy, but the price is like a hidden. So usually hiddens are more powerful than like actual like bull divs and bearish divs. On exos, I find it's more. So an example here is like if you see on these moves here, whoops, 1 second here. I'm just gonna throw out a 10-minute chart here, so we could just go back in time. So like, yeah, obviously we want to see like hiddens, like hiddens and stuff like that, and bearish bull divs. So over here, if you see here, this is the first indication. If you see here, we came up and we're going up, and then it never broke this high, and they built a hidden bearish dip, and then we came down, right? So this is like the main thing. So usually when I see this, I like to get into a short and like, throw stop loss at the high or something, and then just like ride it down, because usually it's not really it's not like, it should be like that, right? So that's the main thing I look for. Obviously you want to see like the opposite. If it's really bullish, you want to see some consolidation and then move to the upside. Let me see if I can see this. So I think it's over here. If you see here, right here, you see there's a low here, right? And then we here, and then this is building, a hidden bullish dip, and then it made the move up. And then actually this was like absorbing, and usually when it's absorbing, it does a bearish dip divergence that's like a regular bearish divergence. And then what happens is like usually I'm a little bit intimidated to like try to take it. I usually just wait and wait let it consolidate because usually that's when squeeze happens. So at this time here, you can't see it now because it's just a green dildo. But usually when it's like when it was happening, it was like building actually like absorption, and I was like, man, like for us to go up is gonna be a short squeeze, and like that's exactly what happened. So yeah, for right now it's quite bearish for me. Like EXO is quite bearish here. Not really what I want to see. We have a lot of like buyers, but the price is not moving pretty much, right? So it's not really doing too much. That makes any sense to you guys?
Yeah, that's good. And the
All right,
open
I'll
interest was climbing up as well.
yeah, exactly. You usually want to see open interest doing the opposite.
So if we do make a new low um, around 25 200, you'd ideally like to enter a long position for a swing failure pattern. Where would you
Swing
tell
failed
the
pattern.
audience to put their stop?
It really depends. Obviously it's obviously in general like whatever you guys want. Like honestly, I would like usually for EUT, if we have something like this, let's say we having something, they usually like want to have a stop loss below the 1.618. But ideally, these two are the most common targets, the 100 and the 1.23. So if that's the case, you guys can just throw it just below the 1.23 or something, maybe below the SWIC or etc. Right? I'm not sure which charts you guys are using because every different there's different wicks for each one, different charts because it's messed up right now, but. Yeah, usually, if there's no reaction here, obviously I'm looking at these two, and then I'm probably gonna throw 1.5% stop loss below the 1.23, and then if it breaks me and it goes down to the 1.61, we'll just check that area, see how it goes. But ideally, yeah, I would think that there's some sort of bounce at 24.7, 24.6 here, 24.8 area. Okay, I think is this perp chart? Yeah, this is a perp chart. Okay.
And what do you think this
All
means
right.
on the macro?
On the macro, usually, like I'm not really sure on the macro. The macro is quite crazy, honestly. Um, like obviously, I didn't want it to break these lows because this to me was a five-wave structure. It doesn't make sense. I know everyone has like this as a five-wave structure. I don't think this can be five waves up. This is obviously an ABC here. Um, Obviously some sort of an ABC here, and then this move. So to be honest, the main one I would have to be a flat more likely. So I'm looking for a flat, maybe ending diagonal, just because the RSI is super low. Usually wave one on the RSI is the lowest. So we would never break. Then we build divergences below. So ideally, I'm still bullish. I think we're gonna go up. I think we're gonna go up a lot more and break these highs. It's just we're not sure how low we can go for now. But as of right now, all I know is that this is probably a corrective move up, and then we're gonna go down and break these lows for sure. And then other than that, like main areas of interest down here is probably like 21, 22 areas. Obviously 20K maybe. But yeah, I'm looking more like maybe 21 is quite good for me. Yeah, those are the areas I'm kind of looking at more for the bigger picture, like to take bigger swing longs or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's excellent. Um, I'm looking at the chat. Uh, Deuterino asked, "Can you show us the anchor points to get the low 618 for that fifth wave?"
Oh, sorry, I had to share my screen again. Anchor points. Okay, so the anchor points is so if this is a triangle, obviously this is probably an E here around this area. So we would have to go from this high, and this one, and then down here. That's what I would assume it to be, right? If we break these highs, then obviously, and then if you don't break this high, that means that it might be still like it might still be a triangle, right? Because everything's still intact. I'm just not sure because everything's looking pretty good for a triangle, to be honest. Just like this move is looking quite strong at the moment, but Bitcoin's kind of like it does these moves and it just dumps straight back down. So yeah, so something like that, right? From this pivot, and then over here, because I think I have the ending here or possibly ending here, maybe. But yeah, it's one of these two, whatever it's gonna make. So maybe if it does an ABC to the upside here, maybe that's the E here. Okay.
Perfect. I think that's all. We want to keep it nice and short for you guys. We're going to post this recording as well. So if you missed the first half, you can rewatch it. Special thanks to our sponsor, BingX. If you've been with us for a while, we used to use BitGet, but they're requiring KYC. So if you need an exchange, if you're in the US, definitely check out BingX for 20% off fees. Otherwise, check out our group. We post entries and exits. We're going to post this next Bitcoin long or short, whatever we get. And as always, like and share the video, and we'll see you in the next one.